that they say that you can assign gender at birth. I feel like gender is predetermined before they're born. That's why we have gender reveals, right? We have a gender reveal party. What's the purpose of that now?
Good point.
Right.
Good point.
It doesn't make any sense. We don't assign gender. It's already a default to one or the other. You know, like I said before, there's only two options. There is no in between. If there is an in between, that means that it's a complication. Something went wrong. And now, even under that amendment, now we can allow. Well, they did ban, minor surgeries, minors having sex changes, but sex changes all around, I mean, I don't think are good for you. They're not healthy for you. Why are we telling people that, if you're not happy in your body, you should chop off organs to affirm what you feel? In what world does that sound reasonable? What happened to, learning to feel comfortable in your own body, learning to love with what you were born with? I feel like you're getting cosmetic surgery just to appeal to what you're currently feeling at the time. And these folks that are detransitioning are trying to point out the serious health risks, because what it is, it's $70,000 a pop for a double mastectomy, $40,000 for the males to castrate themselves or to remove their organs. So it's just money for these doctors. So for people that say like gender affirming care is life-saving, is so full of it. I think it's the Trojan horse of medical care. I don't think it's. I don't think it is care in the slightest. What about do no harm? And how are you going to allow minors to do these things and to say that it's okay? Because we don't let teenagers buy cigarettes. We don't let them drink alcohol. We don't let them get tattoos. But you could chop off your organs. In what world is that okay?
And do they even know what their parents have decided for them, or because they're like, that's just doesn't make any sense. Like, you're okay with doing that? It's like it's almost as horrific as what you were just explaining is a while ago. Like it's extremely graphic. You showed me some things.
Yeah, I did.
It's almost, yeah. It was made me queasy. And these minors, like, they're coming to the decision, but with their parents pushing them to that decision, like that is okay to even have a decision about that, which is completely wrong in my mind. Like, and shooting them up with testosterone when they're, females, just to get them to, before they're even matured or even went through puberty or any of this stuff. It doesn't make any sense. Like,
you can't put puberty on hold, and if you do, it would cause serious health risks. Like, you're throwing your child into a life of the medical system, because they will have to be dependent on these medical professionals for life. Especially if you start hormones, you are completely dependent on these hormones, medications, and medical professionals for the rest of your life. You're probably cutting off, I don't even know how many years of your life, and you're literally pumping cancer into your body. Why would you want to pump your kid full of cancer and change what you gave birth to and what you were, the gift that was given to you of a human child, and you want to change what was given to you? I just think that's mentally ill people wanting attention or to be popular because it's the cool thing to do. So your child is not trans, you're just an abuser. I feel like it's these parents that have like Munchausen's and they instead of forcing themselves to be sick or poisoning themselves, they're doing it to their children. And these kids have no idea. You're exposing them to horrific futures, and you're confusing the hell out of them. Teenagers are already confused about who they want to be and what's going on with their bodies. So here, let's confuse them more and pump them with medication. I mean, you're literally putting kids on drugs. And, some of these drugs we give to pedophiles and sex offenders in prison to castrate those people. But we're going to give them to teenagers and say it's safe. And it's obviously been proven that it's not reversible. You cannot reverse what you've started. You can attempt to, but that person is permanently damaged after what has already been done. So you need to think about it. These medical professionals, all they want is your money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's corruption in
all of it.
All of it.
All of it. The medicine to even. Okay, look at there's just certain medicines. Okay, you want this cured. You want a solution for this, but guess how many problems come after that? Why?
Right.
So you can get more medicine.
Yeah.
It's literally all just a circle. It's a vicious circle, and it's no different about any other way. Like the processed foods to everything. Big Pharma makes so much money off of medicine, and now surgeries.
And we're letting it happen.
And
we're letting it happen so we can be popular.
And so they can be rich.
Right.
And where's all that money that we need for fires in California or you know what I mean? Like it's just it doesn't make any sense. Like we just want to it's seriously a problem, guys. And if you can't see it or you don't feel it, and if you think it's okay, you need to get help.
You're mentally ill.
You're mentally ill for sure. Like, and if your parents or if your kids think they need help too, like you know what I mean?
Right. And so gender affirming care is not helpful. It's damaging. It's torture. It's mutilation. You're mutilating your body. So you're mutilating your external body to feel better internally. In what world is that okay? In what way is that right?
No wonder aliens haven't came to visit us yet. They're like, look what they're doing to their bodies. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh, we mutilate cows, but look at what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But like, you see other countries, all these other countries that have done this transgender stuff. They're all walking it back. But here is Canada and America trying to go in harder because we're all mentally ill.
Right. Like, oh man. Yeah, this is wild. It's wild.
I mean, I have no sympathy for the parents who choose to say that their kids are trans. I have sympathy for the children because it's not fair to them. If they can't make the choice to get a tattoo, they should not be able to have the choice to have permanent surgery to castrate or sterilize a child before they can make a decision on whether they want to have kids or not, because they don't know. They don't know. People change their minds all the time. Children don't have a grasp on reality, and yet you know there's people out there that say that their toddler is trans. It really does not make sense, and it really does show the true colors of these people.
I remember when it was nothing like this. If a girl was kind of boyish, she was a tomboy, and
yeah.
maybe she liked other women. You know what I mean? And that was as far as that went.
Right, and that's fine.
She dressed like a guy.
I was a tomboy. My mom and I were just talking about this the other day. You know, I was a tomboy growing up. I wasn't super girly. The girliest thing about me is that I do hair. But that doesn't mean that I need to go remove
appendages and
that I need to remove my organs or add other organs
goodness.
to my body that aren't going to function properly. You know, it really doesn't logically make sense. You know, and I had an argument with somebody, you know, because I said you're basically having cosmetic surgery to affirm the way you're feeling, and somebody says, well, I don't consider it cosmetic surgery. Well, what do you consider it? It's surgery. It's cosmetically on the outside of your body, and it's surgery. So I don't understand what part of that is not cosmetic surgery.
I got a question. So if somebody, okay, so say if a woman wants a dick, okay, does that dick can she get another woman pregnant with that dick?
No. Just like trans men cannot. Oh wait. Well, I guess trans men can be pregnant, but men cannot get pregnant. Real men cannot get pregnant. Doesn't matter.
No. I'm saying can a woman that gets a dick, is that dick once it's transgender fully functional to get another woman pregnant?
No, because there's no sperm. You can't. No.
So it's never okay. I didn't know.
No.
Can you imagine what the genes would be after that? Like,
it's not physically. Yeah, it's just not physically possible. It's not. It's basic biology.
I didn't know how far they went into it. I saw some of I mean, it looked pretty graphic and real that they made what they made out of what they had.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
So yeah, what he's referring to, I introduced him and I showed him the Identity Crisis documentary that just came out. They showed it on X for about 2-3 days for free. Now you can check it out on Daily Wire. You can get a subscription. I think they even have a certain percentage off if when you go on, if you use certain sponsors and whatnot. But anyway, it's definitely worth it. Is maybe not for the left, that they probably despise the Daily Wire, but anybody that's on the right, if they're interested, it's definitely worth getting a subscription to. And you could watch this documentary on there. And so I showed him this documentary, and it goes into graphic detail about the surgeries. It shows
super graphic.
It literally shows these surgeries being done and what's happening to these boys and girls and how they're doing it, and it's awful. Absolutely awful.
So in school how they used to give us like those the slides up there, and it was whether it was STDs or stuff like that, or even the what happens when you smoke cigarettes in your lungs, and how graphic that was, and how it like messed us up, or even car accidents and driving. How they like terrified us in school.
Yeah.
What if we put something like that in the school, because then they'd realize what these parents don't even know what they're putting their kids through if they decide what gender would you like to be?
Right.
They don't
or even these teachers that are pushing it on children and not telling their parents about it.
Well, because some certain schools are like, oh, if you know what I mean, like it's
they're
ridiculous.
trying to say that it's like student privacy and and it violates HIPAA laws. Like no. The HIPAA laws is between the child and the parent. You're violating the HIPAA laws when you're not sharing with the parent your attempt to transition somebody else's child.
Right.
Now, a lot of it, I mean, part of the country is walking back on it, but then there's the other side that's really trying to like dive deep into it, and it's gross. It's appalling. So I think a lot of changes are, at least by this summer, there's going to be quite a bit of changes, and we're going to see a lot of this, start to roll back. And, a lot of this transgender stuff started with John Money and Dr. Kinsley, and if you really look deep into those two men and where their studies came from,
straight pedophiles. They are straight pedophiles.
That's all they are pedophiles.
Straight
Men
pedophiles.
Attracted to children. And somehow Hollywood decided to adapt it. They even made a movie about Kinsley. It's Liam Neeson who plays Kinsley. Yeah, it's pretty. It's just disgusting.
Liam.
And it just goes to show, like, how disgusting Hollywood is, and that the lines are blurred. It's a sick society, and it's infected the universities. It's infected metropolitan areas, and I'd really like to see some change back. Anyway, we need to pump the brakes a little bit. It's gone a little too far, and woke isn't really what it used to be. Woke used to be more correlated with the civil rights, and African Americans getting their rights and coming out of slavery and whatnot. But now it's like the white people decided to come in and like step over the line of oppression and take over and use it for this homosexuality crap. And they allowed the same-sex marriage and all that. I feel like they got that, and then now it's being pushed even further down our throats, that now it's almost irritating. And it's just gotten to the point where, like, okay, we've had enough. Just pump it a little bit, because you really think about it. Gay Pride gets a whole month, and some of the holidays are even federal holidays. Mm-hmm. But the veterans get 1 day.
1 day. That's wild.
And then some people are offended by the American flag, like that one teacher out there that said she was offended by the American flag,
and had the other pride flag up, and they didn't have it in the school, and then what you could
for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah,
and then they can pledge allegiance to the pride flag like that.
Oh wow!
If you don't like it, you can leave.
Yeah, USA,
all the way,
and look, oh man, the world is just so different now. It's so weird.
Before election, I really thought, I really thought the country was going down the drain. It was starting to turn into a third world country. So I'm really looking forward to January 20th and after, and the things that are going to change, because the people that are on the wrong side of compassion are going to see how wrong they are. And I just think the pendulum's starting to swing the other way. People are really starting to wake up and see the truth. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of the bullshit exposed.
For sure. Man, just more of the bullshit exposed. If we're talking about that, the Epstein list, the Diddy list. I was going through and seeing how many celebrities are on those lists. It's insane.
And the J6 situation, January 6th is going to be exposed as well.
Yes.
A lot of it is BS. A lot of it was these FBI leadership as bad actors going in as, MAGA supporters, trying to make the right look bad because they know that the left has screwed up so bad with their riots by, they've killed people, they've destroyed public property, they've robbed people. I mean, they've literally destroyed cities in the name of what? And so, they look at that and they probably see it like, oh, we really messed up. We look like idiots. And so we're going to,
point the finger and blame.
We're going to try to turn the right into something like that. And see, the right, most people on the right are very calm people, usually pretty normal folks that, they don't go out and riot. They might shake their sign, their picket sign out there, but they're not going to destroy other things. And so what they're trying to do is change the narrative and make us look just as bad as them. And I feel like they completely failed, and the truth is starting to slowly roll out, and we're really going to see how corrupt this situation was handled on J6. There was people that were put in prison that did not deserve it. I think they all need to be pardoned. I think every single one of them needs to be pardoned, because anybody who did commit a crime and hurt a police officer, they've been in there for 3 years. I feel like they've served enough time. Served enough time. It's been long enough. Let them all go.
For sure.
How is it an insurrection if none of these people had weapons? I mean, there's so many videos out there showing these people just nonchalantly walking through. They're even being guided by the Capitol Police people. Just nonchalantly. Nobody's tearing anything down. Anything that was knocked over, I see folks picking it right back up. There's a couple other violent folks, and I understand. I don't condone assaulting police officers, but I feel like these people were convicted and have served 3+ years, so that's long enough. Let them go. But some of these folks that say that J6 is comparable to the Holocaust, World War II, to 9/11, those folks are mentally ill, and they're trying to push a narrative with this hidden agenda, and so it's like you can't watch half of what's on the news, or even these talk shows. These people are ate up.
No doubt.
Absolutely ate up.
Even the, talk about the one guy who blew up the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
And
who knows what the truth is with that?
No doubt.
This is, okay, so my warning for that is anything that they try to, push out, you always want to stay grounded in reality, and remember that most of it is probably a psyop, and you have to consider, you just have to look at the facts that are given to you, and if you notice that the same narrative is being pushed out by multiple news sources, then it's probably a setup. So who knows what the truth is? I guess we'll find out after January 20th what the truth is. I don't want to discredit it, but I don't want to credit it either. That this man was, he may still be alive out there.
Right. I don't think that was his. Well, I don't think that was his body in the Cybertruck.
Well, cause see, the truck can drive itself.
Yeah. Yep.
If you really wanted it to.
Yep. And I know. Yeah, it was wild. They're trying to tie in all these terrorist attacks, like was a New Year's Day or New Year's Day, and wow, yeah, that's just wild. Like everything that is, the narrative is so outside. It's just like it's.
Well, and I'm not shocked with the open borders, and well, it is unfortunate that it was a homegrown terrorist, in which I feel like the rhetoric coming from the left is what creates these homegrown terrorists. Biden wants to say that white supremacy activists is what is the greatest terrorist threat to America. What a crock of shit that is.
No doubt.
I felt like that just ages like warm milk on a hot day, on a hot summer day. It really does. It's just disgusting. Most of anything that comes out of that man's mouth is disgusting.
Right.
What is the purpose of pardoning his son? Obviously he did something wrong. If you're going to pardon it all the way back 10 years, they would have totally discredit the laptop, and the laptop was real. But now we'll never get to know the truth because he decided to cover up for his son, which he said he wouldn't do. So he probably shouldn't have said he wasn't going to do it because now he just looks like a liar. And there's multiple things that he's lied about. He's completely destroyed the economy. Like I said before, Bidenomics is not working.
How much money he gave to Ukraine. Like, we are so much in debt. Like, trillions. Not billions, trillions in debt. He's because he doesn't really know what he's doing with money flow and circulating it. And I can't wait till Trump gets in office because he's so much smarter about business. Like,
he's a businessman.
He's a businessman. Like, just the trillions we're in debt. Like, it's gonna be a minute before we can come up out of that.
My life was better under a Trump administration.
For sure. For everybody's was. When you mean everybody's.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna be some awesome. I know that, but just Biden. I don't understand any of their policies. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah. No, I don't get it.
I don't get it.
I don't agree with any of it. I know folks that, they love Biden and Camilla. But I think, that woman is so incompetent. She had no policy, and she couldn't. She flip-flopped on everything. So anybody who voted for her, I think, they're just blindly voting blue because they don't care who.
Right. Like, okay, and then the celebrities or the artists or anything that like endorsed her. Like, I was such a huge fan of Eminem, and now I'm just like so disappointed. Right. I'm so disappointed. It broke my heart, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. It broke my heart.
But he's a sellout. He did it for money.
Yep. And
they all did it for money.
Or because he doesn't like Trump. That's how everybody, if anybody was on,
And why is it that they don't like Trump? Because he registered Republican. Because before that, Trump was loved. They made music about him.
He was a Democrat. He was loved. He was, you know what I'm saying?
Like him. Yeah. He even talked about in the past having Oprah as his VP.
Yeah, and they loved him. And then,
the minute he came down that escalator with the R next to him, they just had a come apart.
Is that a red tie? Oh my gosh!
Completely beside themselves, which is just just goes to show how corrupt the left really is.
Yeah.
And how far they'll go to push their agenda and to cut down the other side because they act like they can't even come to the table with us. I can come to the table and come and find common ground with the left, but they don't want to come and find common ground with the right. No, that's not. And I'm not speaking for all of them, of course, but the majority of them, they said that, they act like they wouldn't be caught dead with a Republican in the room, and that's just how close-minded those folks are.
That's crazy. There's so many things that are happening in the world that you would think they would react better to, like the hurricanes, the fires.
But
see, they don't even care. They have no remorse in any of these lives that have been lost, that don't have homes. They don't like. It's unreal that they have no remorse and no self-accountability for anything that is happening, and doesn't even react to it as a president should, or as
they don't want to criticize their own party. I can at least admit that I'll criticize my own party if there's something that I don't agree with. Like Speaker Mike Johnson, I totally think he's a weak human being. But we had to have him because he's the only one that can get things done with both the right and the left. But I really do think he's incompetent and that he's just a weak man. So hopefully he can kind of turn it around and make things work. I'm looking forward to see how that all plays out. But I particularly don't care for him in the slightest, actually. But, we'll see.
I thought it was crazy that if people that were in that hurricane in Carolina, that if you had a Trump sign, FEMA was not going to help them.
Yeah, that's pretty appalling.
That's insane. You got that.
I feel like that's just discrimination in itself.
It's like, come together regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't put your political views into catastrophic events. Don't do that. Help is help. Help needs help. Like, we need to just, everybody needs help.
Yeah. Now I think it's valid to critique leaders, but see, they only want to do it on one side. They only want to critique the right. They can't critique the left because they don't want to admit that their leaders messed up. And it's like, if it doesn't matter whether they're an R or a D, if they screwed up, they screwed up. Call it out. Don't be a bunch of lame
what happened when people like thought that okay, the president need to be impeached for certain things. I think they should be like impeached if they make the wrong decision one time. You know what I mean? Like if you fail a test, like if that test, if you fail a couple of questions or anything, you know what I'm saying? You don't get the answers right, you should get impeached. Like that's how I feel it should happen. Like,
I guess depending on like what do you mean, for example?
So well, the fires in California. I know that the mayor in that whole situation
she was in Africa, knowing that this was at risk, and she decided to go to Africa anyway, which I think is absolutely. She obviously cares more about Africa than she does America, so why is she even in office?
Right.
And she couldn't even answer the questions when they asked her, "Do you have any words for the victims or the people of LA?" And she couldn't even speak. She was like, I mean, yeah, cat got her tongue or whatever. And I think that speaks volumes of the leadership there, and that it definitely needs to be critiqued and evaluated. And I think that they should be voted out because obviously, going woke makes you go broke. Literally, going woke has this place up in flames, and they want to say that it's climate control, and I really don't think it is all to do with climate control. I mean, they didn't have that one reservoir filled. It was completely empty. They didn't have enough water in the the fire hydrants.
Yeah,
So that is a failure of leadership, complete failure and incompetence on leadership.
I heard it was because there was a certain type of fish that was going to go extinct, and they didn't want it to.
And there's no proof that fish was actually going to go extinct. And it's like, why?
Oh, that's crazy.
Destroyed all 4 dams for a fish.
For a fish.
And, the Native American culture, which is, okay, yeah, I get your compassion on that. But like I said, you're on the wrong side of compassion. So your own constituents can't be served because you're trying to serve all these. I mean, why? I think it's wild to put animals before human beings. Period.
Right.
You're in office to serve humans, not animals.
But you eat animals almost every day. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Or I remember seeing a video of the firefighters not having certain supplies and trying to put fires out with a lady's handbag.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, or using like
that was
residence
insane.
Pools, using residence pools to try to put
that
the fires out, and they just don't have enough. Now, I understand that, some of these probably couldn't be prevented, but some of them are being found out that it's like the start of an arsonist. An arsonist started a couple of these fires because how is it that how is this fire jumping from city to city? There has to be some sort of explanation for that. So, I'm waiting to see, the actual investigation of this and where it's really going to go.
Right. Why are the trees between the houses still up and with leaves on them and all that, but the houses themselves in the block are all burnt down?
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was really odd.
Yeah, I think that's all determined on the way that the wind is blowing. But yeah, they knew the wind was going to be the Santa Ana winds. They knew that it was going to be that it was going to probably be a problem, and they were prepared, and they should have been prepared. Trump even talked about it before election. He talked about it on it with Joe Rogan, and they still didn't do anything about it. The police or the firefighter chief, she
went in. She told it like it was, didn't she?
Right. Yeah, and I think she has every right to critique this leadership because she didn't have the tools and things that she needed to deliver on this disaster. And here they are calling her into the mayor's office trying to. Nobody knows for sure if she's been let go or not. They say she's still a part of the fire department, but they don't really know. So if this mayor is going to let her go just because she spoke ill of her on the news, just goes to show how incompetent that mayor is as a human being. Period.
Oh, they'll take notice in doing something about something when it has their name attached to it, but if it's something that has to do with people's lives and their homes and they're not reacting when they need to, or it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it's crazy.
Policy matters. Policy decisions matter.
You got Canada coming all the way with their planes getting water from with their planes and dropping it on us, or on them. Like, it's just like,
right. I saw this one post from a friend of mine. It was a picture of like the ocean. It says it's the ocean, and then LA. It says figure it out.
No shit.
You just go get the water from there. But I don't know. I guess that might be an issue in itself. But why? Why would that be an issue to go use that water? But
Right.
that's the whole purpose of those dams and those reservoirs, were to save that water. And a lot of it is you're saving the water from the rain and the runoff. So what they should do is, take advantage of the rain and the runoff from rainy season and wet season. Save that water so then you can use it for situations like this.
And why not be prepared to something that you know is going to happen while being in California? Like, they have wildfires in California still
Right.
burning before that even happened all the time, and you're going to not have the right supplies for our firefighters?
Or not even be in the country when it happened.
That is just, it's insane.
Ridiculous. And complete incompetence.
Just irresponsibility.
Absolutely.
Irresponsible. Like, oh man, I cannot wait till Trump gets in, man. Like,
Yeah.
MAGA.
MAGA and Maha.
Yeah.
You want to close
Well,
it out?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. And if you have any suggestions or anything you'd like for us to speak about, please leave it under the link.
In the comments, yeah,
In
let
the
us know if
comments.
there's certain things you want us to speak about or talk about, or topics that you want us to hit on. Definitely let us know. We'll look into that and definitely do that. And then we'll be needing to get another mic. So anybody ready to come on and talk to us about this and debate with us is totally fine. We're open for debate. Just reach out to either me or Austin, either on X or Facebook, or just, DM us here on YouTube. Let us know. You're more than welcome to come join us. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys next time.
Exactly. Thank you guys. Peace.